Moving on, the Tshwane-based workers' movement, #Outsourcing Must Fall, is planning to join student movement fighting for free education. In a statement, Outsourcing Must Fall says a joint media briefing with Fees Must Fall Tshwane and the Occupy for Free Education will outline details of their action plan. They have workers' movements wants, among other things, the Tshwane University to complete and implement the insourcing agreement. The briefing is scheduled for midday at the Pretoria Church Square. Let's cut live now to Pretoria to see what's happening on the ground.
Said to be not true. We are also saddened, however, by reports of rapes of students by police and private security. We demand an immediate release of all students arrested at the University of Limpopo, Durban University of Technology, University of KwaZulu-Natal, and others. And we are calling for prayer sessions to our religious groups for the victimized students and workers throughout the country. Life threats against student activists at the TUT Soshanguve campus. It has come to our attention that student activists at the Soshanguve campus of TUT were threatened and had to be exiled away from campus. Our cadres' lives are under threat from some service providers that were given a tender to host a bash for this coming weekend. We are working very hard to protect them, and workers have vowed that they shall ensure that they are protected. Illegal eviction of students from residence. We oppose entirely the attempts by some universities to evict from residences as a result of the imposed early recesses. We shall approach the lawyers for human rights to interdict all these attempts because they are not only illegal, but also counter-revolutionary. We are making a current call to all citizens of this country, to all workers of this country, to civic movements, to churches, to high school pupils, and the public at large to join us on Saturday, the 1st of October at the Beggars Park, wherein we will be uniting the struggles. We want to unite the struggle for minimum wage at 10,000. We want to unite the struggle for free education, and we want to unite the struggle for outsourcing to fall, not in our lifetime, but now. We have just noted that in our lifetime is postponing our struggle indefinitely. We are making a call to our members in the media to popularize this big meeting that we are calling for on Saturday, the 1st of October at the Beggars Park. I thank you very much for your attention, and we can take some questions.
Okay.
Just elaborate exactly what do you mean by these childish and mischievous comments. What exactly is it that the minister said that you believe isn't true and is therefore equivalent to being childish? And also, how do you plan on bringing this struggle forward with regards to free education, especially when we've seen that UP is under recess as well as TUT? How then, does this put brakes on your struggle, or how are you going to continue doing this?
Oh, well, okay. No, thank you very much. I'm going to request some of my colleagues to continue assist me with answering the questions. However, the most important part that I want to touch on is the question of the recess. We're saying the struggles of the students will continue with or without the recess. This recess perhaps gives us an opportunity to further mobilize other sectors of the community. We'll take this recess as an opportunity for us to reach out to the community, to church, to our brothers and sisters who are currently in high school. However, my comrade will answer the question of the mischievous minister.
Yeah, I think it has now become...
If you can also just give us your name, surname, and who you represent.
Oh, Mamed Losvey, from the Outsourcing Must Fall and Free Education Movement. Firstly, it was clear from the onset that the attempt of the minister to shift the final decision on who's actually going to increase the fees was a cynical attempt to basically shift the responsibility from his government which through their neoliberal cuts on funding of higher education have been waging unrelenting attacks on the provision of education and accessibility of higher education to the poor. Secondly, when the students legitimately and inevitably rebels against that, he now wants to say this is a work not of the masses of the students that we have seen from one end of the country to the other rising in rebellion against, the escalating cost of higher education, and of course, an escalating cost of everything basically, which has hammered not just the working class, but also the middle class people, who we are told today, fighting also for them to access education. There's everything wrong with it, because there's been a plot here to divide students by saying that the students of certain, or whose parents are earning above certain, income, they shouldn't access, education for free. And we are saying to the minister that if they want to tax the rich, if they want the rich to pay, the rich should be paying, and we are in agreement with that. But the rich must be taxed, not just only by means of their personal incomes, but the multinational corporations that are dominating our mining industry, that are owning the banks and the whole of the economy. We want them to be taxed, but more than that, actually, we're continuing to be demanding for a nationalization of all the key sectors of the economy. So, just to say that is a work of few conspirators who are manipulating students as if these students need anyone to tell them that education is no longer affordable, that these fees are actually excluding students, and that free education is an answer. It's an insult and a contempt for the masses of the students who is supposed, who are being educated at universities.
Thank you very much. Let's take a second question.
Okay, so two issues. One, the minister spoke a lot yesterday regarding the cost of the destruction to property at varsities, running up to 600 million. So can you just speak on that? Because, it seems if you're going to be protesting and destroying property, that's going against your cause, because now money has to be shifted to that. Number two, just as you have the right to protest, students also have a right to education. Is it correct that now we're going for this shutdown? Well, some other students want to continue studies, and we've spoken to those students. There is quite a number of them.
Well, thank you very much. Let me quickly rush straight to the question of burning of property and destruction of property. As a movement, we condemn so brutally the destruction of any property and the burning. And we commit that no student under our command can commit and has committed such an act. We suspect these additional securities that are added inside universities, the so-called bouncers, to